Good afternoon. Thank you so much. You feel like singing? Yes, I know you do. Come together and be together in song is a good thing. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Amen. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. All the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Yeah, good job. I love that. Thank you so much. Yes. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. Yes, I do. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start my day, knowing good is on the way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start my day, knowing good is on the way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I love singing. It makes me feel good. Does it make you feel good? It's good to be reminded of our blessings right now, right here, right now. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Yes, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Let's choose love. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing peace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing peace today. Woo! Abundance. I choose abundance today. I choose abundance today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing abundance today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Yeah. Beautiful, guys. Good job. lyrics to this. It's so what? So what? So what? So what? Your new thought, people. Come on now. So what? So what? So what? Activism. So what? So what? Why that finger wasn't working, man? Emerald Cotan on percussion. His brilliant self. His brilliant self. So it's Shannon's birthday. Did I say that? And this is one of Shannon's favorite songs, and we're going to just sing it out loud. I am blessed. I am blessed. Every day of my life, I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning, I lay my head to rest. I am blessed. I am blessed. You got it. I am blessed. I am blessed. Every day of my life, I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning, I lay my head to rest. I am blessed. I am blessed. Yeah, you are. I'm free. I am free. Come on. I am free. Every day of my life, I am free, 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 free. When I wake up in the morning, I lay my head to rest. I'm free. Rise in spirit or rise on your feet. Up to you, yeah. I am love. I am love. I am love. Every day of my life, I am love, 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 love. When I wake up in the morning, I lay my head to rest. I am love. Now let's have some church. Now let's have some church. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. Go around one more time. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace.
We are held in the hands of grace. And this is what I know. I know there's only one life. I know that life is God's life. I know that life is my life now. That life is beyond the Alpha and the Omega, because there is no beginning and there is no end. And just as I know this is my truth, I know this is the truth for everyone in the sanctuary right now. There's only one life, one love. It's omnipresent, everywhere present. Omnipotent, all-powerful, omniscient, all-knowing. It's right where I am. I am that I am. And I speak this truth, not only for our community, but for the state, for the country, for the world. For everyone, regardless of what your religion is, whatever you happen to call God or universe or Buddha or Jesus, it really doesn't matter. It's like they say a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. How sweet it is. I give thanks for this community. I give thanks for Reverend David, the practitioners, everyone. Everyone. This place could not run without them, and it would be nothing without you. I just give thanks for being here. I give thanks for being a blessing. I give thanks for loving and living out loud, in and through God as me. I release these words into the universal mind of the Most High God, knowing it's already done. It's done, and well done. And if you agree with me, say, and so it is.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace.
Lighting the flames of faith. A call to service. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence which we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We recognize the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We recognize the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of the primal spirituality. We recognize the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We recognize the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We recognize the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We recognize the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We recognize the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We recognize the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We recognize the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we recognize the healing candle, please put silently in the light the name of anyone you wish to experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Good afternoon, everyone. So great to see you. Let's give another hand for our musicians. Wonderful. Emra. We're having a good time in this experience. Thank you for that opening prayer, Victoria, for the flames of faith. We're starting a new series today. By the way, I'm David Alexander. I'm the spiritual director here. My pronouns are he and his. Welcome to Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. We're part of a global movement called Centers for Spiritual Living. If you don't know what that is, we invite you to look online and explore and ask myself or any practitioner here questions later. Find us in one of our late afternoon sessions after we break bread together in the fellowship hall, where we tend to break down some of these conversations and topics throughout the month. And today we're starting a new series called Loving Out Loud. It's a theme for the month of September. We follow Science of Mind magazine, and we're so excited to be celebrating this holiday weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. I always get those confused. Anybody else get those confused? I'm always mixing them up. Labor Day weekend. It's also Atlanta Black Pride this weekend, and another great. We can give a hand for that. Absolutely. Another great kickoff event, interfaith service happened at Atlanta City Hall on Friday night, and hosted by our friends from RIM Fellowship, part of the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries. And grateful for their leadership in this community. And as part of this series of Loving Out Loud, today I want to recognize we've already, in our kind of pre-staff meeting, there's several September birthdays. Victoria's got a birthday, right? Oh, no. Well, you do have a birthday. You do have a birthday, just not in September. I'm sorry. There was somebody else's whose birthday was Shirley. It was Shirley back there in the booth. And, of course, our deacon. I'm going to talk about you in a minute. Annie, I know your birthday you're celebrating. Anybody else? Monique, wonderful. Doris, oh, my goodness, we have other... a big one. A big one? You have a big one? Oh, wow. Okay. Bigger than the last. All right, well... Bigger than the last, right? Amen. Amen. One more. Add one more to it. Well, there's one in particular that the staff wanted to recognize today. Our own, we call him Deacon Shannon Pruitt. So let me tell you something. You already know. Yeah, give him your love. You already know, but in case you don't know, there's somebody who makes all of this happen. What you see on the screen, what we're eating afterwards, the activities that are happening after we eat, and all the strings attached in between Reverend Jean Bell and myself and the sound team and the volunteers and the kids ministry and our staff ministers, our practitioners. There's one center of that spoke from which all things come at Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. And it is Deacon Shannon Pruitt. He makes it all happen. We're grateful for you. We celebrate you. And you got all your September friends here to celebrate with as well, but we got some cake. Jean and Penelope and I chipped in for that. Some cake in the fellowship hall afterwards, and so the rest of y'all who got September birthdays, make sure you get some of that cake too and share it with your friends here. So we're going to be loving out loud all month and talking about what that is to be as individuals and as a community loving out loud. And our affirmation today is this: God is the love that I am. Therefore, I have the courage to be who I am and to love myself out loud. I'll say it again, invite you to say each line after me, and then we'll do it a third time all together. Sound good? Deep breath. God is the love that I am.
God is the love that I am.
Therefore, I have the courage to be who I am, and to love myself out loud. Yeah, that's good. Take a deep breath. Let's do it one more time all together. God is the love that I am. Therefore, I have the courage to be who I am and to love myself out loud. And so it is. All right, give yourselves a hand for being here today. Let's have a great day together.
If you really are concerned, then show it. If you really want to help, you can. If you lend a helping hand to struggling people right around you, you can make a different world. If you really want to concerned, then let's start again. One, two, it's small print. 1, 2, 3. If you really are concerned, then show it. If you really want to help, you can. If you lend a helping hand to struggling people right around you, you can make a different world. If you really are concerned, then speak up. You can demonstrate your point of view. But you've got to get involved with pressing problems closest to you if you want to change the world. Oh, it's easy to on the sidelines. Ask, what can one person do? But each person has something special to give, and no one can give it for you. If you really are concerned, then show it. If you really want to help, you can. But you better start right now by making changes while you're able, or your world will disappear. La da 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 da. Each person has something special to give, and no one can give it for you. If you really are concerned, then show it. If you really want to help, you can. But you better start right now by making changes while you're able, or your world, or your world, or your world will disappear. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Some more love for our wonderful
Thank you.
musicians here.
Thank you so much.
Take a deep breath. So great to be in this environment this afternoon, getting a great jazz concert, cool air conditioning, wonderful weather outside. Great day to be in community together, yes? Take in a breath. I am awake. I am awake. I am awake. To the insight, to the inspiration, to all that is in this moment, I am awake. I am available. I'm available. I am available. To all the inspiration that the universe would pour over me in this moment, to the awakening that would occur within me, I'm available to that right now. And I know within the depths of my being that I am enough, just as I am, just as I walked in with all that is on my heart and mind and circulating in my consciousness, just as it is, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. And because I'm awake, available, and enough in this moment, I know that right here, right now, in this very moment, I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, we are talking about love this month. Love out loud. Let's love out loud together. Amen, somebody? So let me give you the tools for today and for this month. The tool, of course, the spiritual principle is love. The spiritual law is embodiment. We're going to talk about how to take that love ethic in the universe that is the very dynamic presence of God and walk with it in our being to demonstrate it out loud in a more dynamic way. So the spiritual law is the law of embodiment, and the spiritual practice is acceptance. Working on that one in particular today, just accepting what is and as it is. In particular, this day, we may change those throughout the weeks, but that's what they are for today. In the Science of Mind, we say that often the word God, the concept of God, is synonymous with love. We say that God is all there is, and that love is all there is, that there's one power, one presence, that this love is the vibration and the pulse of creation in the universe. But when we look around and we see a world filled with war and violence and division and polarization in our politics and fighting in the streets as well as online and all around us, right? It's a string of homicides in Atlanta just this weekend. I think it's up to 5 now. It can be a challenge to see that God as love resides behind all of these things, right? And so this month we're being invited to lean into love and to express love out loud, because I don't know about you, but when I look and I see all of those things happening in the world, whether it's a homicide or something tragic on the news, or my phone tells me that something has happened, or I'm in traffic, and the other day I was just in traffic trying to get to Costco, like you do, right? And somebody pulled out in front of somebody, and as they went into the next lane, the vehicle that was next to me, put out their hand. They gave them a not so friendly gesture, and then that person honked, and their taillights came on, and as I just backed way up, just gonna see how this plays out, but try to stay out of it. But my heart kind of opens in those moments. Of course, I get concern, safety, and all of that. But another part of me, my heart goes out because I realize how much tension there is in the atmosphere, right? That we're all just so tense, and there's anger, and there's anxiety, and there's a lack of love. There's just as Michael Beckwith would call it, a pissosity in the environment, right? In the atmosphere, right? And how much love is needed when I'm deep in my spiritual practice, I then move to a place of empathy and compassion to say, wow, that person really, I wonder what's going on under the surface. Right. I wonder what the tension and the violence and the need to be so triggered and so reactive. I wonder what love could do there. How love would soften that. What would have to be said? What would have to be shown? What would have to be lived out loud in that person's life for them to just let that go. Right. And I don't know what that is for any in particular person that I might be in traffic with, but my mind gets curious about that. And I want to invite us to get curious about that as a community. And so the invitation is to look for love everywhere that we go. Places and people that we interact with, the events and the world on the news, and most of all with ourselves, because it always starts with ourselves, right? If we want to see more love in the world, we got to be that living example inside of ourselves. And so, as we seek to enjoy the experience of being loved and loving others, it has to start with ourselves. We inspire love in the world by living as examples of what that love looks like, and that's what we're going to explore this month. And so, as we encourage ourselves, to live out loud that love to the people around us, knowing that everyone will benefit from that, let's take a dive into what that would look like today and throughout this month. The Science of Mind, which is the kind of main teaching body text written by Ernest Holmes, who was a great New Thought pioneer and author and mystic, who is the founder of the tradition that we are a part of, Centers for Spiritual Living. In the Science of Men, on page 433, it says this: ultimately, we shall see that the universe rests on the shoulders of love, that God is love, and that all the errors, I've gender neutralized the language here, he said of man, but all the errors of humanity are the result of ignorance of our own true nature. All the errors of humanity are the result of ignorance of our own true nature. An evolved soul judges no one, condemns no one, but realizes that all are on the road of experience, seeking the same goal, and that each must ultimately find their home in heaven. That each must ultimately, in other words, so we're all on the road of experience. We're all seeking. We're all striving. We're all looking for belonging. We're all looking for acceptance. We're all looking for love. We're all sometimes in the wrong places, as the song would say, right? We're all looking for creatures of comfort and safety, and you can imagine all the things that our soul is constantly kind of on, in our ego and our consciousness is on the radar for looking for, right? And so Holmes says, well, we begin with understanding everybody's on the road, right? That truck that, gave the gesture and did the thing, and the other car that was involved in it, right? They're literally on the road, right? Just ahead of me, right? They're on the road, but we're all on the road, and we're all trying to get somewhere. And so our compassion begins when we can slow down and realize, that person that I'm judging, or again, whether it's on TV or in our own world or on the news or in our backyard or in our home or in the mirror. So that person that I'm judging is also on the road. They're also seeking the same things that I'm seeking. They're seeking comfort. They're seeking safety. They're seeking a sense of security. They're seeking love and belonging. And ultimately, each of us must find our home in the consciousness of heaven, right? Not in the hereafter, not after we die, not, that our soul is saved from the judgment of this world and all that sort of theological construct. But when he says that most ultimately must find our home in heaven, he's saying that our consciousness would find that it belongs to the universe in which it lives. That our home is in heaven, that we've stored things up in that consciousness of heaven in the here and now. Living a spiritual life requires a consciousness of understanding that spirit or love expresses itself as all things. Recognizing this divinity within us starts with recognizing our own divinity. We are consciously directed to love each other and ourselves and to transform community around us. How do we do that? We do that through deeply listening to our intuition, through finding ways to express that love. Ernest Holmes says that love is the self-givingness of the Spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Love is the self-givingness of Spirit. In other words, it's Spirit seeking to know itself, to give life, to give expression to itself. So out of that self-love, it created. And what it created was you and me and this experience and this dimension and this realm. And then it said, out of this infinitely diverse creative expression, let me see the ways in which this expression can be reminded of itself, of where it came from, and how to love itself. In other words, in many ways, how to love itself back home. Love itself into the memory of from whence it came, right? But what does that really mean? I mean, that's nice, Ernest Holmes, thank you. But really, if I was sitting down with you and saying, well, let's really break down what love is in terms of relationship, whether that's intimately with another person or with our children or a spouse or a partner or with ourselves, what is that thing that so hard to capture and express, that thing called love? How do we measure it? How do you know? How many people know that somebody loves you? Somebody loves you, right? How do you know that somebody loves you? How do you know it? They tell you. Okay, that's good. They show you. They show you. You can feel it. You can feel it. They show you. They tell you. I said a couple of weeks ago, demonstration is the only authority, right? Demonstration is the only authority. So when we're talking about measuring love, how do we really define love? There's a couple of ways that we can look at. How do we really measure love? One, there's 4 questions here. Are you there for me? And how? Are you there for me? Will you show up for me? And how do you show up for me? And this, by the way, these 4 things, everyone has these 4 questions built into them innately. From infants to the elderly, to the abused, to the drug addict, to the homeless, to every infinite expression of the diversity of humanity has these questions built into them and a radar that is looking for the answer to these 4 questions. Are you there for me? And how? Not just are you there for me, and how? How are you there for me? Wondering, analyzing, assessing, evaluating. Children, by the way, take in. I was a child development major before I came into ministry, and I loved the brain science, the child development, psychological brain science of how we develop. And 95% of what we are, the imprinting that happens on us before we are verbal, happens. It is non-language based. It's all energy. It's all behavior. It's all how people are being with us. It's not what they say or do, right? Which is why children, sometimes they know. They're like, yeah, no, that person is a no, right? Like, that person's a no for me, right? They're just clear, right? You notice that? Children have really good boundaries. It's like, well, how do they know that? They don't know. They just sense it. They just feel it, right? But they built into them, they're scanning for these questions. Are you there for me? And how? The second one, do you care about me? And how? How do you show that you care about me? Do I matter to you? And how? Are you interested in me? And how? I remember having children is such an interesting experience. I remember, and growing up with them, right? Because when you become a parent, you're on a whole new fast track of growing yourself, right? Spiritually, emotionally, everything. And I remember when William was younger, and being with him, and he was still fairly nonverbal. So it was early on, and we were just hanging out in the house, and I was home, and the TV was on, and we were all just kind of on the couch and around and doing our thing, and I didn't even realize, but that I was on my phone, right? Just kind of doing whatever, and he gets up on my lap, and kind of, moves the phone out of the way, and puts his hand on my cheek and moves to look at him, right? He's, right, like 18 months old, and he just, like, presence. Here, are you interested in me? I can see that you're interested in that, right? Are you interested in me? Look at me. And it was such a moment that I was like, oh, right? Of course, now he's in his screen all the time, but and I'm doing it to him. I'm like, hey, you interested in me? But that's a whole nother sermon. Devices and everything else. Right, but these are the questions. Are you there for me? How? Do you care about me? How? Do I matter to you? How? Are you interested in me? How? Love can be understood in many, many different ways, but these 4 questions are kind of the radar that we're looking for. And we can understand the principle of love in the following ways. Love can be expressed, or not expressed, but love can be thought of as a capacity, both spiritually and kind of humanly in the way that we work with it and the way that it works in our life. Capacity. Do I have the capacity to love somebody? Sometimes we want love from somebody who doesn't have the capacity to love us. Amen, somebody? Don't have the capacity, right? And so it's our lesson in that to learn, why am I expecting something, as my wife would say, why, you want a gallon and they give you a pint, right? And stop expecting a gallon. They've shown you that they can't give you that, right? It's capacity. Now, the capacity of the infinite is infinite. The capacity of the universe to love you is infinite. But sometimes we have different levels of capacity with each other and with ourselves. Love as a quality of something, the quality of how we do something. Not just the quantity of what we do, but the quality with which we do it, right? Do you cook, but what is the quality with which you do it? Or do you fold laundry, but what is the quality with which you do it? Or do you show up with the quality with which you do it? Love can be thought of as the quality, the attention, and the intention that's put into something. We can think of love as demonstrating itself through commitment. Again, what is that commitment? And how does that show up? As purpose, as grace, and mostly as practice. So capacity, quality, commitment, purpose, grace, and practice. Practice is the one that I want to focus on today. We'll get to some of these others throughout the month, but the practice of love, it kind of incorporates all the others. It means showing up over and over and over again. It means it includes forgiveness, letting ourselves off the hook and willing to commit again when we fall short. It means forgiving others and giving that opportunity again. It means also having boundaries. It means all of these things. It means practice. It's always up to, this is from a book called How to Be an Adult in Love. I love the title. He's David Ryko has written 2 books that I highly recommend in this subject: How to Be an Adult in Relationship and How to Be an Adult in Love. And I just love that he started with that. Like, how to be I was like, oh, how to be an adult. Awesome. Thank God somebody wrote the book. Because I've been wondering. I've got several people I can buy this for. But I'll read it first, right? He says, it's always up to us to expend the energy it takes to act with love and in accordance with the grace that we are given. Thus, love is a practice. We do not have to strive for love. It is already in us. But it takes practice to show it. Some specific ways of practicing love are shown in what he calls the 5 A's. And they are these: attention, acceptance, appreciation, affection, and allowing. Attention. This is the practice of love. So how do we practice showing up, caring, showing that we care, that we're interested, all of those 4 questions, right? With these 5 A's. Attention. Can we give our full attention to something or to someone? Acceptance. Can we accept somebody for who they are, where they are in the moment, right? Sometimes, how many people know, sometimes you just want to be accepted, right? I don't want you to change anything. I just want you to accept that, yeah, I know I'm not perfect. I got this flaw. I just want to be accepted, right? Appreciation. Appreciation is huge for many, many people. It's like, yeah, you know what? I need to know that I'm valued, that I'm appreciated. Can I show up in appreciation? Affection. It's kind of sounding like the love languages, right? If you're familiar with that work. And allowing. Allowing, just giving space. Some of us are introverts who just need space. My wife and I, we're both introverts, thank God. And so we like to be together, but sometimes it's like, you could be reading a book and you could be but I just want you in the room, but I don't want to talk to you. Go over there, So I'll say, I'm going to go downstairs and study. She goes, no, you can do it here. Read your book, do it here. I just want you in the room, right? And vice versa. Sometimes I want that as well. And sometimes she's like, yeah, no, you can go downstairs now. Right? But that space of allowing all of those things. So how do we put all of this really into practice? I said earlier that intuition is one of the ways. Intuition speaks to us and guides us. The other way is that we're to remember that we're not born to fit in, right? You're born to stand out. You're born to express. You're born to love as purpose as part of that. That you're born to give expression. And so you have a unique imprint on you. That your experiences in your life and your personality and all that you are is unique. You're not made to fit in and or to show up in a particular way that somebody has predetermined for you. You're here to be your authentic self. And when you can learn how to be your authentic self, right, show up as your unique, wild, crazy, unique, individualized expression self, then it becomes easier to love other people. Have you noticed that? Right? When I can just be me, I can accept and love other people because I'm no longer judging. Well, why do they do that? Or why do they think that? Or why do they act like that? Or why don't they conform? Why don't they fit in the box? And what we're seeing on the collective scale right now of humanity is all about that, right? Because the lesson always comes from the youth. Right? All of my greatest lessons have come from my children. Right? It always comes from the next generation. And the next generation is going through this huge curriculum with us right now called accepting diversity, accepting difference, accepting authenticity. Like, okay, we came into this world and you have all these nice, neat little boxes for us. Well, we're going to break them all. Right? We're going to break them all. Right? And we're your children, so the question is on the table is going to be, are you still going to love us? Right? Now, the really crazy part about that is that the adults in the room are over here arguing about that very question. Like, well, what are we going to do? They're not in the boxes. Well, make the boxes bigger. Right? And then they're all over the place. Oh, they didn't stay in the box. It's like, trying to put a kitten in a box or something, It's just like, what are we going to do? They're out of the box again. We'll put them back. Get a stronger box. Right? And we have these boxes that are legislation and laws and governing health care and the body and gender identity and all of this stuff, right? And we just keep banging our head against, they got to conform to this, they got to conform to that, and they just keep going, no. There's an expression here that is authentic and real, and it's new, and maybe you've never seen it before, but it is what it is. Can you get behind that? Can you get into allowing? Can you get into acceptance? Can you get into just being with what is? Or do you not know love that way? They're asking us, do you not know? Maybe you don't know love that way. Maybe love has always been conditional for you. Maybe it's always had to show up a particular way in order for you to get it. But what if it just is? And what if it didn't look the way that it's always looked? So when finally, following our intuition, we're not born to fit in. And the third thing is that when we love ourselves unconditionally, then we can love others unconditionally. And so the lesson that the young people are bringing to us is, while it's about them and their expression and the demand for authenticity and acceptance, but it's really a mirror that's being held up to the rest of humanity and to the adults in the room saying, do you actually love yourself? Or have you just been performing a game of getting to places of authority and position and power in the world by following the rules that somebody else set that you actually never agreed to or wanted to agree to, but you did because you thought you had to do it. And underneath that, you're actually really kind of upset about it. And you'd really rather not show up and put on that suit and act that way, today if you didn't have to, but because you've convinced yourself that you have to in order to have power, position, and authority and all these other things, right? And they're challenging the whole system. And at the end of the day, it's like, but do you love yourself? Oh, dang, Gina. Here's the thing. The seeds from which a world that works for everyone will be born as they lie sleeping in sacred acts of radical self-love. The seeds from which a world that works for everyone will be born. They lie dormant in the sacred acts of radical self-love. When we get that, when we start with radical self-love, then creating a world that works for everyone will become much easier. Become much easier because everything will be an expression of ourselves, right? The environment will be an expression of ourselves, right? Global politics and healthcare and all the other things that are the issues right now will all be expressions of ourselves. And we'll go, because I love myself so much, right? I can love you so much, right? As you can love you so much. You know the rest, that you can start loving me, right? You can start loving me. And so I sat with this in prayer meditation this week, and it came to me, it was like, what if we really knew that God is the love that we are? Like, what if we really knew that? Like at a deep, deep, deep level, that it just overflowed our whole being, that God, that I am the love that God is. That's our affirmation today started with, God is the love that I am. And years ago, wonderful songstress and minstrel in our organization, our movement, Suze Ogden, who's still around, and wrote this beautiful little melody to this song. But the lyrics are simple, and I just wanted to go into it as a sort of a meditative state for us together. And it simply says, God is the love that I am. And repeats that 3 times. And it's just, God is the love that I am. It's that simple. God is the love that I am. 3rd time. God is the love that I am. And it modulates here a little bit. God's the love I am. Go back to the beginning. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. God's the love I am. Do it again. God is the love that I am. Close your eyes and breathe. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. God's the love I am. Do it again. God is the love that I am. Just lean into it. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. God's the love I am. Again. God is the love that I am. What if you knew this at the deepest level of your soul? God is the love that I am, that all that you are is the expression of the divine. Is the love that I am. God's the love I am. Do it again. Feel all the stuff that would melt away if you really knew this. God is the love, this criticism, the doubts, the fear, the worries. God is the love. The need to perform for others. The need to show up in any particular box because somebody else said so. Just let it all melt away because you really knew that God is the love that you are. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. God's the love I am. And if this was beaming out from the center of our soul, on a daily basis, keep singing. God is the love that I am. Imagine what would happen on the planet if everywhere that we went, this vibration, this frequency was resonating with every soul that we came in contact with. That when they met you, they felt this truth, that God was the love that they are. Because you demonstrated it and you showed it to them, because it's coming from you, because you know it about yourself. And their defensiveness and their anger and their tension and whatever else that they have in them that particular day just began to melt. Just in your presence, just because you're at the drive-thru, or just because you're at the front door, or just because you're in the office, or just because you're in the car next to them. But it won't happen like that unless we know it for ourselves first. And so this becomes the first step of global transformation in a world that works for everyone, operating deeply from the love that we are. The world of the old was the hustle for acquisition. And now you and I must birth a new world in which the hustle is the hustle for recognition, to recognize from the inside. The hustle to see ourselves as God created us. Hustle after that on a daily basis. Chase that down. That God is all there is, that all of your needs are met, that you operate from wholeness on a daily basis, that you're committed to your own inner work, and that you can show up for somebody else just as you are. That you have gifts, resources, presence. You have compassion and generosity beaming from your soul. And somebody needs it today. So your first duty is to know it for yourself. So that as you are out and about doing your day, doing your work, doing all that you're about, somebody else might receive it just by being in your presence. What if that was what got us up every morning? One more time. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. God's the love I am. Thank you, God, for this moment of recognition, this vibration and frequency of clarity, this opportunity to step into my deep knowing. As we begin this month in this series on Loving Out Loud, may it begin from such a place of wholeness, from such a place of authenticity, and where there has bubbled up in the surface of this event and this time and space work to be done, things to look at, then let me be about that work, examining, questioning, throwing out the old, embracing the new, working with the practitioner, moving into deep prayer and meditation so that I'm more and more clear about who and what I am as a divine expression of God, so that I might be available to the transformation that wants to take place on the planet, that I might be a vessel through which that justice and that wholeness would make itself known, because I'm so clear, because the energy centers of my body are so aligned that the work inside has so been done that it's easy and effortless for the universe to express greater good through me, to give generosity and justice and love and peace and wholeness to all of those around me. It just flows as I go about my daily tasks. Let me see this, let me feel this, let me know this as my walk. And in doing so, help make the world a better place. Deep breath in. And so it is. Woo! Feel it? I wasn't joking when I said the spiritual law is embodiment. That's what it is. It's embodiment, taking it in and allowing it to live in us. And I'm so grateful that we embody generosity and prosperity as a spiritual community. It's time for our grateful giving. If you have gifts to share this day, you all have a gift to share. Your presence is a gift, first and foremost. And if you have a gift to share that supports this ministry, know that we have our vessels of receiving by either doorway that you can drop in, cash, check, or an envelope into those. If you want to do it right when you're seat. You can do that on your phone, 404-800-9467. You can do it at our website, slca.com/donations, or scan that QR code on the screen. But whatever it is, if you've set it up and it just automatically happens because it's part of your spiritual practice, God bless you. We love you. We appreciate you for that. Take a breath and hold the energy of that gift and your commitment to circulation into the universe and into this place which does so much good in the world, as we bless it with these words. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
Hello, all you clear radical lovers. And you are, every single one of you. I'm Mally Lapete, and my pronouns are she and her. I gladly serve on the Creative Arts Council here at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. For those of you who want to know more about our center or how to become a member, please connect with the welcome member out in the lobby or online. If this is your first time at SLCA, could you stand and raise your hand and let us acknowledge you? Anybody? All right, well, they're invisible today. That's right, they're out of town. We have so many great opportunities to connect, grow, serve, and give here at SLCA. For more information about today's announcements and other opportunities, scan the QR code found on your monitor. So many things have been happening in our world that sometimes leaves us with more questions than answers. So join the Self-Care for Peace and Justice workshop with Reverend Dr. David Alexander and licensed practitioner, counselor, and SLCA practitioner Tony Jenkins today during the 5 o'clock hour. We've got a 5 o'clock hour now. 5 o'clock hour. Join SLCA practitioner Baji Daniels just outside in the social hall from 5 to 6 p.m., the 5 o'clock hour, next Sunday for Tai Chi and Qi Gong. Wear comfortable clothes and shoes or bring something to change into after service. This opportunity is for everyone, even if you're a newcomer. It's also a wonderful way to increase blood circulation and reduce stress. If you're looking for ways to reduce negative emotions, increase your imagination, or you're ready to build skills to manage your stress, then how about joining practitioner Diana Johnson next Sunday during the 5 o'clock hour for meditation. It is a great way to start your week. I lapsed at meditation recently, and I started back, and what a difference it is making for me. Have you checked out newthoughtheducation.com lately? Well, there are some wonderful on-demand classes waiting for you. This is also a wonderful way to share our teaching with a friend. There's so many ways to volunteer at SLCA, and a welcome team member will be waiting in the lobby to share more after the service. We encourage you to find one opportunity that resonates with you and serve one Sunday each month. Together we can grow our community by serving, plus you get to know people. SLCA is thrilled to host the 2023 CSL Member Council Virtual Gathering. We will stream live from this beautiful sanctuary on Friday evening, September 29th. Register now by scanning the QR code on the screen to attend the entire conference or to reserve your space in the sanctuary for the Friday evening event. This is a wonderful opportunity to hear messages from amazing speakers, including Dr. David Alt, as well as Dr. Raymond Anderson. Dr. David Alt and Dr. Raymond Anderson. I think I'll come. Will you? Yes. All right. Will all practitioners who are available for prayer this afternoon make yourselves known in person and in the online chat right now to be recognized? Hello. Thank you. We welcome everybody who need a prayer to remain in this room to reach out to a practitioner or online for one-on-one prayer with a licensed practitioner. In-person practitioners will be sitting in the chairs in the back of the sanctuary after service today. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to visiting with you after service down the hall in the social hall for food and fellowship. You belong.
And birthday cake.
And birthday cake.
Let's close our service with our closing song. Thank you, Mally. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. Let's take it up. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We see a world that works for everyone. Yeah, we do. We see a world that works for everyone. Everyone. Everyone.